What's up YouTube, it's PZS here. Today I'm going to be an unboxing and demo of the Zéfal, how did you say that? I don't know. But what this is a spin handlebar mirror. Now, I've actually already got one of these mirrors, but it broke, and I think it broke yesterday. I'm not entirely sure actually when it broke, because, anyway. Yeah, I do not think, though, it was fault of the actual product. I think it was user error because I think I might have ran it into a pole or a post or something. So I'm going to make sure that I take extra care of this one. Luckily, they're really not that expensive, but, you know, hopefully I will not have to go through, like, a ton of these. And if this one somehow breaks on me, like, you know, within, like, a week or so of owning it, like the last one did, I will probably look at other brands. But anyway, this mirror, it's just the most practical mirror I've ever seen. It's the only mirror, I mean, I have used one other mirror from Bell, and it was just huge, big, honking mirror. It was ridiculously big. I didn't like it at all. But, yeah, I actually returned that one pretty much the day I got it, because it was just too big. And, the way it attached, I also didn't like. You had to kind of, the way it held on was like your grip would make it hold on better, like, cause I don't know, it was weird. But anyway, that's besides the point. This mirror is very practical, it is very useful, and it actually looks like something, you know. It doesn't look like some sort of ridiculous thing sticking out of your handlebar, even though it is a thing that's sticking out of your handlebar. You know, people will be able to know what this is. This is a mirror, alright? That's what it looks like, that's what it is, it's a mirror, okay? So, there you go. Basically, that's pretty much the reason why I liked it, and I also like how minimalistic it is. You tend to forget it's there, which is a bit of a con, actually, in my opinion, but it's just a nice mirror, and you can get them at Walmart for $7, which is interesting, because, I actually paid $6.66 for this, which I just realized is, anyway. Yeah, that's interesting, and what's even more interesting is this is not the only thing I bought. I also bought some Reese's Minis, which cost $1. So I guess the deal is, if you buy a mirror and some candy, you get the candy for 200% off, which means we'll pay you for the candy. I don't know. Maybe you should try that. Buy a mirror and then that. Alright, anyway. Let's go ahead and get into this then. So anyway, there is the logo right there. Multi-position, which is actually really nice. Universal mounting, shock resistant, which is good. So there's the installation instructions. It comes with this piece, and I used that piece on the last one, but I actually got lodged in really far, and I could not get it out, so I actually ended up not using that piece. But it'll hold in just fine without it. Then you tighten down the screw, and then you can adjust it. Caution, objects in mirror closer than they appear, yada yada, you know, y'all know that. Please recycle the package. There it shows everything to be mounted on, which is pretty much everything. That's what it looks like. There's, yeah, just something under there. I don't know what that is. Well, that's weird. There's like a little blob or something under there. I don't know. We'll get that out though. And rolling. This thing's pretty easy to take out. You need a knife though. Well, somehow I managed to lose my knife. Which is strange, although I did just nothing to look away. Yeah, I do not know what the heck happened to it. So in the meantime, I'm gonna use this. It's brand new, but it's extremely dull. Little thing here. This thing is probably not even gonna work because of how dull it is. If it actually does cut it, I'll be impressed. Oh. I actually bent the blade, I think. Alright. There you go. Wow, that thing is really dull. But we got it. So, let's go ahead and take this off. We'll... There we are. So this here's a little extension piece, which I won't be using because I don't need it. But here it is, and basically what happens when you screw this in, this little plug here will move up and will cause the base here to kind of well, there you go. This will kind of, you know, go upwards, and this base here will it'll expand, so that way the it'll become a more tight fit. So that's how that works. Now, let's go ahead and install this, I guess. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to take off this one. This is the old one that's broken. You can kind of see what, maybe. I guess the bike fell down on top of it or something, I'm not really sure. But, basically, I believe it uses this size actually. We're just going to unscrew this. No, well, it's the first time using this little tool, I don't know. Maybe this next size smaller. There we are. Oh no, it's sliding. Grr. Let's not have the bike fall on us now. I need a new kickstand or something. I don't know what's up with that. I might need to just tighten it. Which I'll probably do after this, because it's not working very well. I actually think what happened was, either I hit this against, like there's this really thin bridge I go across it. Well, it's not a thin bridge, it's just like, there's this part I go to that's, you know, it's a bridge, but it's pretty close to some guardrails, obviously, since it's a bridge. And, that's where my first hypothesis comes in, because it might have, this might have actually whacked one of those and broken it or something, but I don't know. Because you would think that it would just spin like that, you know, if it hit it or something, I don't know. But this thing did recently fall, you know, kind of, I think it actually fell on the same side that the mirror was on, so I think that's actually what got it. Now, taking these things off is a little bit of a trick, because that plunger that causes it to expand likes to stick around. It doesn't really like to move back down, so you have to screw this screw pretty far. Not all the way usually, but I think I've gotten it enough by now. There. Ooh. Hit the camera there. There it is. You can see how it's kind of expanded. So, anyway, got that off. Now for you, you're probably going to have a little end cap on here. There's one on this side, right over here, but I don't really want to turn the back around to show you it. You're going to have to get that out. Now if you're having a hard time getting it out, what you can do is punch a hole through it. If it, mine was already kind of cracked, so I just took some pliers and popped it out. But if yours, you know, won't come out, maybe poke a hole through it or something with like a glass punch or something, if you have access to one of those, and then you can pop it out with some pliers. So anyway, they're usually removable. So this here's the new one. The way it goes in, just goes in like this. Alrighty. So then all you gotta do is tighten this. Whoa. Crap. Now there is a protective film on the mirror. I like to leave that on until I actually have the mirror installed. So there's this. Here all you're going to do is pretty much tighten it. That's too small. I actually grabbed the wrong one. Oops. It's this one. So we're just going to tighten this bad boy down. You're gonna want to screw it in pretty far. I mean, you don't want to like strip the threads or anything, but you do want to, you know, screw it in a pretty decent amount. It is going to take a little bit of screwing in to get it to go in there. But what's happening is that plunger is moving backwards, moving up the threads, and is putting pressure on the base, which is causing it to expand. That's basically how this works. And then it will grip onto sides of that, and my handlebars have a little lip in them, and it kind of catches on that. I don't know if yours will or not. That's basically how this thing works. It's getting pretty tight. Let's see if that's on there, dude. It could be a little tighter. Don't want to break this, obviously. I mean, this is plastic that's being pushed against there after all. It's not like it's metal. That should probably do it, though. There it is. Now adjust it to your heart's content. That's a little stiff. Luckily, you can sort of loosen these up a little bit with Allen wrenches if you want to, or tighten them if you feel it's too loose or something. So I might actually end up doing that. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. Now you can set your mirror, and yeah, so let's go ahead and peel this off. Get whatever that thing is that's under my plastic thing here. I don't know what that is. Ugh. Ew. I do not want to know what that was. Anyway, there's that. That is how it works. Now, we can start writing. So anyway, that is it. Yeah, so I would highly recommend this mirror if you are someone who likes to go commuting on their bike, if you ride your bike to work or something like that. I think that this is probably a mandatory item, is that you have a mirror of some sort, so that way you can see what's behind you and what's, you know. I would at least recommend having one mirror. If you want to go full range and have two mirrors, like right there, you probably could. I don't really think that's entirely necessary. That's perfectly fine. And it is pretty small. There's my thumb. It's about the same size as my thumb, as you can see. You don't need a big, huge mirror. I mean, this is plenty. That's actually more than enough, to be honest with you. This is actually a pretty big mirror. So you can see a lot with this. You might be amazed. So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Adios. One more thing. This is a little trick I figured out. If you're gonna like store your bike or something, like when you're parking or something, you might want to go and do this. Just that way if it were to fall down. And I have had my bike locked and it still fall down. So this way will probably prevent it from breaking a little bit more. I mean, it could still damage this part, but I mean, I don't know. I think this might be better. And plus it's out of the way of everything. So, but whatever you want to do. Anyway, that's all for real.